The letter asks that the committee look into whether these materials were properly gathered, whether they were properly masked or unmasked, and properly disseminated, all matters which are within the ordinary course of the committee's responsibilities. We have sent the White House a reply. I am more than willing to come to the White House at the earliest opportunity to review the materials. I did make clear in my letter, however, that it will be ultimately necessary to share these materials with the full committee, and we will need their cooperation as well to work with the agencies who have custody of the original documents. When analyzing questions of whether something is properly the subject of incidental collection or whether it was properly unmasked or the distribution list is appropriate, that is impossible to do without consulting the agencies to find out how the materials were gathered and why there was a need to know in case of any unmasking of names. This is not something that is going to be apparent on the face of the documents. It's also not something that I think either chair or ranking member alone can somehow adjudicate. I did express in my reply to White House counsel, though, my profound concern with the way these materials are being made available to the committee. On the same day that the New York Times broke a story saying that the source of the materials that were provided to our chairman was in fact National Security Council staff, I was informed in a letter from White House counsel that National Security Council staff found these materials in the ordinary course of business. Now, that timing concerns me. If, in fact, the National Security Council staff that discovered these materials reportedly in the ordinary course of business are the same national security staff that provided them to the chairman to be provided to the president, it raised a profound question why they were not directly provided to the White House by the national security staff and instead were provided through a circuitous route involving the chairman. If that was designed to hide the origin of the materials, that raises profound questions about just what the White House is doing that need to be answered. And I have asked the White House for their assistance in answering those questions as well.